Well. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Well, isn't that cool looking? I love watching this thing. I could watch it all day long, but I won't. I'm going to bring you a new document, a bunch of documents today, and they are pretty telling, very telling, by the way. One thing I'm going to start doing is the dates that are on these are very interesting because I'm going to start trying to see if I can connect them with the things that have happened in and around campus, like the unalivings and things like that, and then cross-reference them with the police records. There is one that really stands out at me, but I cannot find the Pullman. The Pullman has taken their records, their police records, reports, and from December 22nd back to somewhere in 2019, they've expunged all of it. You can't find it. It's not in there. And that's exactly where I need to get that information from. So it's so aggravating. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to just pick little pieces of this. This is just the documentation, and we're going to get in there. Going to go take a look at it. Yeah, Special Forces here. All right, I'm going to pick at it, but I'm not going to do too much talking. So you guys are going to have to screenshot it, look at it yourself, make it bigger, zoom in, because it's very small for me to read. Love you guys. Okay, let's get started. So the United States Memorandum in Support of Detention Motions is breaking it down. It will provide a brief overview of the investigation that led to these charges, summarize the applicable law relating to detention, and address specific facts presently known to the government relevant to the individual defendant's continued detention. So that's the stuff, like, this is going to be pretty much all of them are going to be in here and talking about it, I believe. So we'll go with that right now. Well, Embry's going to like this page right from the get-go. So it talks about the Aryan Family and Omerta, which are predominantly white prison gangs that have presence both in and out of prison facilities, and which engage in drug trafficking and other criminal activities at their primary purpose. It's their primary purpose, basically. It identifies numerous individuals, and I'm going to just kind of speed through here and just all the little things we've already talked about, what they've done. I mean, what it involves in here with all the different, aspects of it, what they have trafficked, the money laundering, that kind of stuff. And I'm sure that Embry's going to read this, so it's going to be, it's going to be better than what I do, obviously. So it ultimately led to the use of court-authorized Title III wire interceptions. In total, agents received authorization to intercept 10 separate target telephones, with interceptions occurring between July and December of 2022. Wiretap interceptions, search warrants, and other investigative techniques revealed a massive conspiracy to distribute large amounts of narcotics, including FMH and other drugs. Maybe sure my earbuds are in. Okay, never mind. Prior to the execution of search warrants and the arrest of defendants on the present indictment, investigators seized an estimated 830,000 F pills, 5.5 pounds of the powder, 223 pounds of M, 3.5 pounds of H, 5 pounds of C, wow, 388,000 of suspected drug trafficking proceeds, 48 firearms from individuals involved in the drug trafficking conspiracy. I believe to date they've gotten 177 different firearms, right? So it's crazy. Despite the coordinated arrests and searches that took place during the coordinated arrests and searches that took place beginning on March 22nd of 2023, law enforcement seized additional evidence from numerous locations in Washington and Arizona, where certain targets of the investigation had relocated following earlier searches of their residence as part of the investigation, including approximately 22 pounds of M, 26 of F in pill and powder form. Let me see here. Okay, this next page, basically the legal standards for detention are, it just combines, you have like the nature of circumstances of the offense. It's got like, family ties. It's the weight of the evidence, all sorts of things like that. Also, there is if they're a flight risk, if they're going to be a danger to society, to the community, things like that. So that's what's on this page. So okay, so page 4 looks to be basically the same. They're just weighing what type of danger posed and that type of thing. If they're, the burden of persuasion, the government retains the burden of persuasion. Let's see, so they get to choose, whether, with the things that's set in front of them, basically it remains basically they're just going through just the different things that would make them not give these guys a way of getting out at this point in time, before like a trial, because they're a danger to the community, basically. And they pose a very special, drug offenders pose a special risk of flight and dangerousness to society. So that's what that one is. Okay, so the statements, this is page 5. So the statements of fact herein, which are based on the sworn wiretap and search warrant affidavits, summaries of the results of said searches and wiretap interceptions, and information obtained at the time of the defendant's arrest, is presented as such a proffer. So individual defendants' roles of conduct. So it breaks it down like who's the main person, and then it goes down from underneath that. So who's down below that. So it's, first of all, it is Jesse James Bailey and Candace. It's got her last name in here. Oh, interesting. I've never seen that before. So anyway, he's the leader of the AF prison gang based out of the Washington Department of Corrections, the DLC, and he is a formerly convicted felon who has a criminal history including convictions for assault, rug possession, attempting to elude, theft, and unlawful possession of a firearm. He was determined to be a rug trafficker and source of supply of FMH to distributors in Washington and other states, including many of the defendants in this case. To redistributors in Washington and other states, including many of the okay, so basically the people underneath him, right? She is married to JB and is herself affiliated with the AF. CB is formerly a Washington DOC prison guard before being terminated following an investigation into her romantic relationship with JB. CB is a partner in JB's rug trafficking and supplies firearms to JB. CB also participates in money laundering activities. How about that? I wonder if her and LZ, Ms. Zagalo, know each other, because she's right up in this too. On February 11th, 2012. Okay, this is where the dates come in that are coincided with Emma Bailey's arrest, her DUI arrest. The same day she was arrested, Demetrius was brought in, and about a half hour later, there was an arrest at Steptoe Apartments, but I cannot find that information anywhere. Okay, so there's that. Now her DUI was on the 12th. So this was on the 11th, but I don't think I think that if you go back and you look at her, I mean, I'll do a video on it, but if you go back and you look at her arrest, the video on that, you can see so many indiscrepancies. It is crazy. She was definitely brought in there for a reason. So just saying that, I will do a video. In fact, I do have a video I've already started. I just haven't got it all totally edited yet because it's taken a while. Anyway, there's that part. I'm going to go on to page 6, so hold on. So it looks like on page 5, it also talks about, let's see, where the firearms were located or where they found them at a storage unit number 16 at Prime Storage at University Place. So on to page 6, University Place in Washington. So the storage unit was rented by CB. So prior investigation identified this storage unit as used by JB. Warrant authorized agents to enter the storage unit covertly to avoid notifying B or his criminal associates of the federal investigation or his criminal associate of the federal investigation into their... Okay, so they didn't want to alert anybody basically in the ring, him in the ring, so they did it covertly. They got into that storage unit and they looked around, and what they found was, inside the storage unit, law enforcement located and seized. So how does this work? Okay, if they located, if it was covertly, right? So they get into the storage unit, and they, under the sly, go out and they go in and they take these things from that storage unit. So meanwhile, who is JB and CB going to think did that? Somebody that possibly knows where the storage unit is? And so what's going to make them suspicious of their other people that are, working with them and under them? That's what's so scary about this kind of thing right here with them cops doing that. I mean, I know that they've got to do certain things, but this puts depending on who's been there, and it's not like, well, yeah, it is, because, I was going to say it's not like they don't deserve it, but the thing is that whatever this stuff that they took out of there is a lot of stuff. And so they're going to do some damage on somebody, knowing or, thinking they did it, or someone they know did it, whatever it may be. So that's kind of scary in its own right there, I think. Because when they went in there, they seized approximately 19 firearms, 3,372 grams of suspected M, 1,322 grams of suspected F-laced pills, and over $210,000 in U.S. currency and other contraband items. The majority of the cash and the firearms were located inside a locked safe within the storage unit. The code used to... This one cracked me up. The code used to open the safe was JB's birth date. I mean, come on, seriously? Isn't that no... what would be a good book for that? No, what are the stupid, I don't know, something, because it's so stupid. It's so well known. I mean, you don't put your birth date in there. You don't do your anniversary. You don't do anything like that. And his birth date was the one that opened up that locker. Oh my God. So seriously, now makes it even worse for somebody knowing that they could get in there, because everybody knows his birthday, right? That's working with him, basically, I'm sure. Look at all that. That's crazy. So many of the firearms were registered to CB. Ah, wow. Interesting. So many of the firearms were registered to CB, and that the money stolen was casino winnings. So CB stated that JB had a key to the storage unit. So what stated that JB had a key to the storage unit? Oh, did they hear that on a wiretap or something? Based on records of firearm sales, the investigation has determined that CB is a frequent purchaser of firearms and firearm parts. Hence, like I'm saying, that one thing that just happened with all the U.S. holds, where the guys from the service were stealing guns, parts of guns, ammo, tons of ammo. I seriously think this is connected. So CB is known to have illegally provided firearms to JB, and has been surveilled purchasing firearm parts with JB. Oh, I bet you those dates are connected, you guys. Betcha. So with this, there's a December 3rd, 2022, in an intercepted call between JB and TC. So this is a dude underneath JB. JB stated that he had to stop at Sportco because wifey, CB, got me a fucking Christmas present. It's a Benelli M4. The Benelli M4 is a model of tactical shotgun, typically priced at over $2,000. On the July 28th, 2022, intercepted calls and physical surveillance indicated that JB was conducting a meeting with co-defendant BG related to the purchase of F pills. In the intercepted call, JB and CB had discussed the purchase of up to $800,000 from him. The price of the stuff, the availability of the M and H, and the particular meeting on that day. When JB mentioned the price of 70 cents per pill and the profit of 40 cents per pill they would make, CB replied, "Sounds perfect." Wow. Jeez, that's crazy. And you think, one of those pills, how many lives would one of those things kill? Unbelievable. in an intercepted call on August 14th. There you go, August 14th. Think of the noise complaint, which is on August 16th, right? These all kind of add up, right? So JB had a 3-way conversation with Ronnie Griffin, I don't know that name yet, and CB, in which JB asked CB to relate a story about a meeting with other rug distributors who wanted to share profits from rug distribution. CB related that they were talking about Dark H, and she told the others present, no one motherfucker in this room is moving it, only us. So why would we give you any of the money we work hard for? Wow. That's a hard ass, right? The Baileys also discussed declining to agree to keeping a ledger purposed by the others because it would be evidence of criminal activity, with C saying, you guys go take your RICO case. Oh, whoa. She's knows about those things. On March 22nd of 2023, a search warrant and arrest warrants were served at the house. Let me get to that page. Hold on. So at the house, and there were indications that he disposed of rugs in that location prior to surrendering to law enforcement. A rug detecting canine strongly alerted to a toilet in the residence, and of officers located apparent H residue in the bathroom sink. So is this where this came from and not Maddie? Because it sounds like he flushed him. Wouldn't that be something? Inside the residence, law enforcement located firearms and firearm parts kits. This included one handgun that was under the mattress of JB's bed. Approximately 30 total firearms and kits were located in his residence and various locations, and a gun safe in the garage. They located 13 rifles or shotguns, approximately $160,000 in bulk currency. JB's leadership role in the conspiracy, his gang membership, his criminal history, and his unlawful possession of firearms all demonstrate that he presents a danger to the public and risk of non-appearance. Yeah, flight risk. So she played a critical role in enabling, directing, and concealing the AR Omerta DTO criminal conduct. Her role in this charged conspiracy included unlawfully supplying firearms, and her leadership in the distribution of large amounts of narcotics demonstrate that she is a danger to the public. So probably because she didn't have a record, she was a prison guard, and so she didn't have something prior to this, and so she would be able to purchase the guns and all that kind of stuff for this is what I'm thinking, right? So let me see. We got B. Thomas Carver. TC partnered with JB to supply narcotics to redistributors and was a distributor of large quantities of M, including to several of the targets in this investigation. Carver has a criminal history, including convictions for violations in Washington Uniform and Controlled Substance Act, manufacturing, delivering M, and possession of stolen property. C was frequently in contact with JB during the periods of wire interceptions discussing rug trafficking. In Carver's and JB's calls, they discussed obtaining and redistributing large quantities of narcotics, including M in quantities of 50 pounds or more, and F pills in quantities of 10,000 on a frequent basis. Man. So C obtained M from co-defendant Gustavo. So I'm not going to say that word. I'm just going to say GCT, or however I'm going to do it. Maybe GT, with whom he was also intercepted speaking. GT frequently delivered the rugs to C in rolling suitcases. He would deliver to C on December 15th, 2022. What happened on December? Oh, that was when Kopacka was unalived, right? So on December 15th, Carver and Tapia set up a delivery of M to Carver. Tapia was later stopped and his vehicle was searched. Inside the trunk of Tapia's vehicle was a suitcase found to contain approximately 48 pounds of suspected M. There's a picture down below. That's a lot. That's wild. That looks like, wow. That's what it looks like, huh? A search warrant served at Carver's residence in conjunction with his arrest on March 22nd, 2022, what happened that day? I know, resulted in the discovery of seizures of 4 firearms, M, suspected F and H, specifically in the RV where Carver was located. Remember, I keep telling you there's an RV over there. Law enforcement found 2 guns, bulk cash estimated to be at least 400 or 40,000, hundreds of F pills and M. Also on the property were several stolen vehicles. C's conduct in this case had his criminal history and his recent possession of rugs, numerous firearms, and stolen vehicles demonstrate he poses a danger to the community and a risk of flight. Carver has access to substantial assets in the form of property and vehicles, apparent access to cash, and the means to flee. Further, nothing about C's physical condition mitigates these risks. Carver was seen on surveillance throughout this investigation, driving to meet JB and their rug customers and visiting his stash house, demonstrating his ability to drive and travel. Nothing about his medical condition addresses the issues of danger of a risk of non-appearance. Okay, so basically they're saying he's got to be locked down. So then we have BG, the one that I just did a thing on. BG is a rug trafficker who supplied J and B, Carver and others, or C and others. G has a criminal history involving driving under the influence, unlawful possession of firearm, assault, rug possession, possession with intent to deliver narcotics, misconduct with body armor, and possession of a weapon in a rug offense. His associates are MS, you guys can read these as we go, their names, MW and IC, work together to transport FM and other rugs into the state of Washington from Arizona. Stored and resold them and manufactured F pills at the stash house and pill press that was in Shelton, Washington. During the investigation, surveillance showed that the group repeatedly traveled to Arizona and back to transport narcotics for redistribution. So there's intercepted calls between G, S, and C discussing rug transactions, with G giving directions and S and C carrying them out and reporting on the status of the rug stashes, including the quantities of rugs available and the process of pill press operations. So on the 9th of 2022, the residents of G, S, W, and C were searched pursuant to federal search warrants. Agents seized approximately 650,000 suspected F pills, 2 presses, 15.6 kilograms of suspected M, approximately 1/2 kilogram of F, and 9 firearms from Warren's Shelton resident. They seized approximately 360 grams of F powder and 9 firearms from W's Shelton residence, and they seized approximately 360 grams of F powder, 66 grams of suspected F pills, 10 firearms, 1 firearm suppressor, silencer, and approximately $56,000 in U.S. currency from the Graham resident. They seized 4 firearms at C's resident. The photograph below depicts F pills seized from the Shelton's location. Oh my God. Unreal. The day after the search warrants noted above, G made an intercepted call to Bailey. In the call, Gill stated that the house was searched as well as 3 other locations, including the stash. Gill said, "They hit me. They hit me. They hit each of my people you've met." In an apparent reference to the searches and arrests of F or S, W, and C, G stated that agents got the stamper and everything, in an apparent reference to the seizure of the pill press. G said that the agents found a 1/2 ounce of Fetty in my partner's trailer. My partner is clearly a reference to S, who was living in a trailer on G's property, and agents located F inside S's trailer as well. Gill also said that the federal agents came to his house and took guns. Gill told B that G would be leaving the state and advising Bailey he might want to do the same. So I don't get this. So they raided the house, but they didn't arrest them? Did they know that they raided the house? I mean, were they gone when they raided the house and got all this stuff? I mean, that's what it kind of sounds like if they're still out and about, right? So, geez. I mean, oh God, that's just, I mean, it just makes me feel scared just thinking about this, it's just scary. So, G, S, and C relocated to Arizona following the searches of their residences. So, were they in Graham before that, or? And then they went to Arizona? I don't know. I think so, maybe. On March 22nd, 2022, also, look, you guys, look at all the tutus everywhere. All of these, I mean, it's just nuts, the numerology in this. It's just really crazy. That and the 13s. G, S, and C were arrested in Arizona, and search warrants were served on known locations associated with them in Arizona. Results of the searches are still pending, but include the recovery of an estimated 75 firearms, rifles, and unserialized firearm parts. I betcha. The photograph also below depicts some of the firearms recovered from the search at the Concho, Arizona property used by Gill and his associates. Holy my God, man alive. Them some big guns. Geez, that looks like a rocket launcher down below, all the way to the left. Man, that's crazy. Okay, next up, we've got Y.K. Kilp. So, he goes by Yashi, huh? So he is a rug distributor who coordinated rug trafficking activities with JB. Kilp is affiliated with the No Remorse Prison Gang, which has alliances to the AF family, or the A family. Kilp has a criminal history including convictions for identity theft, possession of a stolen vehicle, resident burglary, rug possession, unlawful possession of firearms, and unlawful factoring of a credit card. Okay, that's where it comes in. That's where Miss Little LZ comes in, because when she was arrested, she had these machines on her that would make fake cards, right? IDs and credit cards. So she's up in here somewhere, but haven't they not got her? Is she in jail? I'm not sure. But that's how that comes into play, and which is really interesting because in the very beginning of this case, people were talking about that Brian was making fake IDs. That's what he was doing, just from what people were saying. Now, I don't know if he even aware of these people. I have no idea, but that's what I heard. Okay, so on the August 10th of 2022, that also rings a bell, based on intercepted communications of Kilp, or I can't say that name out loud, and surveillance observations, investigators learned that K was storing M and other rugs at an apartment located on North Tacoma Avenue in Tacoma, Washington. So on the 11th of August, Judge Christel authorized a search warrant for the apartment, which was executed that same day. The apartment was unoccupied at the time of the search, and the investigators located and seized approximately 104 pounds of M in mustard-colored packaging, 1 kilogram of suspected FP, and more than 20,000 suspected F pills. So that's what that is in there, those packages right there. The next day, in an intercepted call, Kay and Bailey discussed the loss of M and F from Kay's apartment. Kay compared the search warrant that took place at his apartment to the prior search warrant that took place at Bailey's storage unit on February 11th of 2022. See above pages 5 and 6. Bailey told Kilp that he, B, was the main source of supply for M in this area, and K asked B to see if any of his customers had suddenly found a new source of supply because K believed his rugs had been stolen and were likely being resold. Holy Moses. Right there. That is where, that comes in, where, that right there, suspecting someone in the organization possibly doing this, right? So this like turns them all against each other. So you can see how that would work, how they'd all roll on each other, right? Because they're all like wondering, oh, did you do this? Who did this? Did he do this? That's what it kind of feels like to me. Ugh. I mean, I just got goosebumps. It just makes me scared thinking about it. Yuck. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, enters RM. M is an influential member of the AF prison gang who has a criminal history including convictions for assault, escape, possession of stolen property, possessions of intent to deliver narcotics, and robbery. M acted as a redistributor of narcotics and was a customer of JB's. So M is also known to be involved in shipping to Alaska. Okay, that's a whole nother side of this, you guys, is the Alaska side. Okay, there's some information on that too. Wow. On the 7th of February, we could see, we need to look back because that's where that March thing came into play. That was when Hudson, that was right around the time, was it May? April, May? No, his was in May, right? I see all these times, I believe, are some involved with the whole thing, wrapped around the whole thing, all the deaths, everything. Is starting to come into play, which also brings, unfortunately, and I know Ambry hates me to say this, but it also brings the fraternities into it. And it doesn't, it's not all of them, it's not everybody in them, but there's a certain handful of those guys that I've done some deep freaking diving on, and these guys are they're not very nice. And they're busy. They're busy up in there. I mean, and they are getting their own money, their own way, and these guys needed a distributor in that area. So it makes sense that, it would be some of these guys, which I truly, truly believe. I would not put it out there if I didn't totally believe it. And I seriously, totally believe it with everything I do. So on the 7th of February, and after investigators saw JB meet M in Centralia, Washington, so there is your Caden Young, who is now deceased. Right there is your connection, right? So when I say that I believe that they are involved, every inch of me believes that they are involved. So, and Caden belonged to the same fraternity that the boys on crossing Banfield, and the one that was chasing him, Saeed, it's the same fraternity that they belong to. The same one that Caden Young, who is now deceased, Jason Gray, who is now deceased, he had a double criminology major, and also a double criminology psychology major or something like that. And he passed away before he was to graduate that December. Yep. I mean, not to mention a handful of others, but I'm not going to go into that totally right now. But it's literally all around. The dates are coinciding with this. So maybe they got a shipment that was bad. I don't know. So we meet with McComb. Wow. In Centralia, Washington, in what was suspected to be a rug transaction, investigators obtained a warrant to search McComb's BMW. Pursuant to the warrant, law enforcement located a handgun, approximately 1,000 F pills, and approximately 500 grams of H in a black bag inside the trunk of the BMW. In an intercepted call on August 11th, 2022, McComb discussed a purchase of N from Bailey, including 20,000 blues, so blueberries they called them apparently, is a common term for F, and 20 white, a reference for 20 pounds of M. The next day, more calls indicated JB and M would be meeting for a rug transaction at the Ilani Casino. Surveillance observed McComb, J, and C meet at the casino. Telephone interceptions confirmed that the narcotics transaction had taken place, and M stated to B that he also had a shotgun in the trunk of his vehicle at the time the narcotics transaction had taken place. So then on January 30th of 2022, M was observed sending a package under a fictitious name to Alaska. The package was interdicted and was found to contain 10 separate baggies containing approximately a total of 85,000 F pills. So that's a whole other thing, you guys, with the Alaska thing. They're sending these to to these villages that are like, like no alcohol, no, I mean, they're locked down. They're dry. Everything about these things is dry because they get very addicted very fast up there. I used to live in Alaska, so I only lived there for a few years, but it's the things like with the natives that live there, God, it was sad. Oh, geez. It was just, yeah. I mean, I was a youngin' too, so it was all like, wow. I mean, my eyes opened up right there. I was like, holy crap, I can't believe it. I saw frozen people, dead frozen people. That's the first time and only time I've ever seen them was in Alaska. It was crazy. And that's just on a bus ride to work. Jeez. Okay, so where is I at here? A package. So, okay. So M's extensive involvement in drug trafficking, gang affiliation, criminal history, and history of flight. In addition to the escape conviction, M has had numerous warrants issued for failure to appear or supervision violations, and links to Alaska demonstrate he poses a danger to the public and a risk of non-appearance. So not too long ago, there was a bunch of arrests. I think 54 arrests in Alaska. Yeah, a lot. Okay, so enters S.M. M is a drug redistributor who obtained narcotics from K. M has a criminal history, including felony convictions for hit and run, possessions of stolen property, assault, theft, attempted vehicular assault, possession of a firearm, and violation of Uniform Controlled Substance Act. This one we got to watch out for. He might have been involved in the Pullman stuff. Just saying. He was intercepted speaking to K about his plan to transport F from Washington to Alaska using women as rug mules, which he referred to as live shipping containers. Is that disgusting or what? Mother of God. And M also distributed M throughout Washington based on intercepted calls. There's your connection to the university as well as probably Idaho. One of M's couriers successfully evaded law enforcement after they attempted to conduct a traffic stop on her vehicle following intercepted calls indicated she was picking up rugs from K. In calls, so she evaded, one of his successfully evaded law enforcement after they attempted to conduct a traffic stop on her vehicle following intercepted calls indicated she was picking up rugs from K. In calls setting up this transaction, M explained to K that his courier is a F smoker and that he does not want her trying the stuff, and asked K to wrap it in 4 layers because he doesn't want any dead bodies. Did you just hear that? So one of the people, the women, the live shipping containers, is an F smoker. And doesn't, that's disgusting. So I wonder who that is. M's criminal conduct, along with his extensive criminal history, numerous warrants, and past failures to appear, and poor performance on supervision all demonstrate he poses a danger to the public and a risk of non-appearance. Okay. Now, I've already read the MW stuff, so I'm going to skip past that and continue on because that's in the one prior, so you can go look at it there. Or just, go skim back through this one, okay? Okay, so now we're on to IC. So that's the Cervantes. That's the one Embry talks a lot about. And I could swear that his name sounds so familiar, and I think he was in with the U.S. Marshal holds for the ammo thing. I'm pretty sure of that. So, I mean, the name just sounds so familiar. It was either him or somebody that was, sounded just like him. So, C assisted G in the rug trafficking from Arizona to Washington and in the manufacturing and distribution of F-pills in Washington. C was also arrested in July of 2021 by the Oregon State Patrol while driving his vehicle belonging to G to Arizona, from Arizona to Washington. In the vehicle was approximately 50,000 F-pills and a handgun. So wait a minute, so was he arrested like way prior to all of these people being arrested? Because if so, maybe he was one of them that was in there. So on December 9th of 2022, C's home was searched in a conjunction with the residence of G and S and the stash house pill press operation. Inside C's residence, agents located 3 handguns and a rifle with an attached high-capacity magazine containing 60 rounds of ammunition. Following the search warrants, C relocated to Arizona along with G and S. C's criminal conduct, firearms possession, and flight to Arizona following the prior arrest demonstrate he poses a danger to the public and a risk of non-appearance. So this is weird to me because still, right here, so they're getting these search warrants and they're getting all this stuff from them, but they're not arresting them? Am I missing something here? Okay, so, all right. So on to ST. This is Sara. Thompson worked with K to redistribute F. They were together. They were a boyfriend, girlfriend, or something like that. So they worked together to redistribute F, M, and other rugs. Thompson conducted large drug transactions on behalf of K. T would oversee Thompson, too. You got that Thompson name right there, right? Kind of like, you got to wonder about these things, you know? T would oversee K's rug stash at times and was present and based on intercepted calls, apparently hiding on another floor. Oh, they're on another floor of the building when the law enforcement conducted the search warrant. Whoa. At his apartment that resulted in the seizure of 104 pounds of M. See pages 11 and 12. On July 28th of 2022, in an intercepted text message, Kilp directed T to come get the backpack, ting, ting, backpack. See, these are things that now, I'm not dissing Embry, I'm just saying that these are things that I've constantly seen within the sororities and the fraternities. That's one thing that they have a little TikTok about. It's backpack, and they're pretending like they're carrying each other on each other's back, and it looks like they're making themselves look like a backpack. That particular girl that made that TikTok is also the one who allegedly was the last one to comment in Xana's TikTok, and all it said was Queen. It was her TikTok account that was commented on, right? She was also at the grub truck. So, and also her and her boyfriend made another TikTok video about a package being delivered that had rugs in it, and it was intercepted, and they were making a funny TikTok video about it. So I guess maybe I need to go find out what date that TikTok was, because that could also be very prevalent to this case. And right up there, they're right up in those sororities and those frats. So on July 28, 2022, in an intercepted text message, K directed T to come back and get the backpack and gun and put them away. In other intercepted communications, T sought directions from K on conducting other rug transactions. Okay, let me get to the next page. Sorry, I've got some motorcycle out behind the vehicle here that's doing some rev ups and stuff like that today. This is like new. This is a new one. Oh, finally it shut off. Dang, that was loud. Didn't realize how loud that was. So on March 22nd, this is page 17 of 24. On March 22nd, 2023, law enforcement located Thompson to effect her arrest. T came out of the residence and entered a vehicle. Law enforcement attempted to conduct a traffic stop on T using a marked police unit with law enforcement lights. T did not yield for the officers, and pursuit was discontinued until undercover units were able to box her vehicle in and take her into custody. Whoa. T's role and conduct in the charged conspiracy, her involvement in firearm possession, her criminal history, which includes conviction for theft and no less than 10 failure to appears, and her recent flight from law enforcement demonstrate she poses a danger to the public and a risk of non-appearance. Okay, now we have a Mr. E.S. Smith. E.S. is a rug distributor for JB. Smith has a criminal history, including convictions for manufacturing, delivering, and M, theft, possession without a prescription, and possession of H. Smith was arrested twice from November to December in 2022, and both times officers seized rug proceeds and or rugs from Smith that are associated with the rugs Smith obtained from B, as discussed in contemporaneous there we go, wiretap calls. In November of 2022, Tacoma police arrested S for a DOC warrant and seized from him approximately $20,000, almost 200 F pills, 280 Gs of M and H. In December 2022, the Pierce County Sheriff's Department again arrested S. So how come he was let out again? Okay, this is what I don't understand. They arrested him in November, and he had all this stuff on him, right? And then again, they arrested him in December 2022. Why was he out? I don't get this thing. He was in possession of approximately 338 Gs of M, 100 F pills, 15 Gs of H, and $16,000 in cash. The $16,000 corresponds to intercepted wiretap calls indicating Smith was supposed to bring proceeds to G for rugs supplied by B. Jeez Louise. S's conduct in the charge conspiracy, his criminal history, and his poor performance on DOC supervision, including multiple violations of supervision and the assurance of multiple warrants, all demonstrate that he poses a danger to the public and a risk of non-appearance. Okay, now enters Shawn, Mr. Ellis. Ellis is a rug distributor for K. Ellis has a felony conviction for manufacturing delivering of controlled substances. Wire interception captured E, setting up at least 2 large purchases of M for K. In both instances, law enforcement observed E meeting with K shortly after the calls. On March 22nd, 2023, E was arrested pursuant to a warrant issued in this case. He was driving a vehicle that was searched following his arrest. In Ellis's vehicle were several plastic buckets containing blue F pills, F powder, CM, Suboxone, Subuox, or whatever that word is, and other suspected controlled substances, as well as 4 firearms, including a shotgun, 2 pistols, and a suspected fully automatic firearm. Some of the items seized from the vehicle during E's arrest are pictured below. Kind of really bad pictures, but E's criminal history, his possession of numerous firearms, and the extent of his involvement in the rug trafficking demonstrate that he poses a danger to the public. All right, so we have J.H. Hempel is a high-volume rug distributor for JB. H has a criminal history, including convictions for vehicle theft, burglary, reckless driving, manufacturing, delivering controlled substances, and conspiracy to distribute controlled substances. Okay, let me get to the next page here. So, he's conspiracy to distribute controlled substances. In intercepted communications between H and B, H discussed purchasing pound quantities of M from B. H's supply of F pills M and H and prices for M and F. In one call, Bailey provided a total price of H's purchase as $41,700. When arrested at his residence, agents found a large amount of suspected H, estimated at over a kilogram, several hundred suspected F pills, 4 firearms, including 3 rifles and a shotgun. The shotgun was found in the bedroom under a mattress next to bulk currency estimated to be $12,000. Also located in the residence were flashbang grenades. Whew. Oh my gosh, that could be also in Linda Lane too, you guys. When I'll get back to that. H poses a danger to the public and a risk of non-appearance based on his criminal history, which includes numerous bench warrants and his recent possession of rugs, weapons, and bulk cash. So we're now on to PB. B is a rug distributor for K. B has a criminal history, including 9 felony convictions for rendering criminal assistance, forgery, possession of stolen property, residential burglary, and controlled substance possession. B was arrested on March 22nd, 2023 at a residence. So there's a couple of them that got arrested that day, huh? When officers observed B come out of his residence, they gave him commands in order to effect his arrest. But B fled on foot and threw what appeared to be a firearm. Borg was taken into custody after a short time, and the item he threw was recovered, which determined to be a pellet gun. So in the Moscow police reports, I just want to put this out there, that there's many, many different reports of an air gun being used, shooting people from cars. It's like there's a car driving by with a bunch of people in it, and they're shooting people with an air pellet gun. So just thought I'd put that out there. Based on his conduct in this case, his criminal history and attempt to flee, when he was surrounded by police and his troubling possession of the replica firearm, he poses both a danger to the community and a risk of flight. Okay. Ready now. On to page 20. Now this name bothers me because this name pops up all over the place on friends lists and all sorts of stuff in and out of all the people in that university. It's all over the place. There's a couple of them, different ones like this. So on July 26th of 2022, investigators intercepted a phone call to JB from CM. Agents determined that they were discussing the search of B's storage unit. M says, "Hey, remember that bad thing that happened to your storage unit and they got a bunch of pow-pows?" Bailey, "Yeah." M, "Somebody's trying to sell me one. I'm going to send you a picture of it and let me know if that's the one of yours or not." B, "Okay." Following this exchange, B received a text message from M reading, I guess it's fully auto too." Agents concluded B and M were discussing the seizure of firearms, rugs, and cash from his storage unit, which Bailey believed was a burglary, and that M was describing an individual who was offering to sell what may have been a fully automatic firearm, pow-pow, which M had suspicions that it had been one of B's guns. Okay, so right there, that takes me still back to the guys that were stealing those guns from that armory and selling them to people and trading them for rugs and all sorts of stuff. It brings me right there to that one. And it's the same time a ton of reports came in from the university. There's what they call the gun check, and it's when the guys, their guns are stored elsewhere. The frats and the people who are living on campus, they're stored, in a secure place. So they have to check them in and check them out. And that was going on a lot around this time. I mean, a lot. More than a lot. I mean, like one of the days there was there were so many in the day, it was crazy. So following this exchange, okay, let me see. It was one of his. Okay, so August 9th, 2022, M had a series of text messages with B in which they discussed narcotic prices, and M placed an order for 10,000 F pills. On December 3rd of 2022, M had a series of text messages with B during which M indicated she wanted to purchase 10 bunches, 10 nights, and 2 days, which are clear-coded references to 10F, 10 ounces of H, and 2 pounds of M. Clear as day. It wasn't as clear as me. I mean, I'm like, what are they talking about? B and M also discussed that the more narcotics they moved, the cheaper the prices would be for her. And when M asked B what the price for everything would be, he indicated it would be about $14,000. A little over $14,000. M was arrested on March 22nd, 2023 at a storage unit. Upon the arrival of law enforcement and her residence searched, inside the storage unit, agents found a shotgun. A vehicle was parked in the storage unit and 3 bags containing suspected F. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. That's why on my videos I've been putting that car in the storage unit. It's been on some of my intros to my video because I believed that there was a car somewhere in a storage unit. And since a lot of those people own storage units, especially in Moscow, there's a few of them, it just made me think that there must be one in a storage unit somewhere. So there you go. Premonition. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, so 3 bags contain suspected F pills under the hood of the vehicle in the engine compartment. A package of suspected H was found inside the trunk of the vehicle along with approximately $4,000 in bulk cash. A rug detecting canine positively responded to the vehicle parked outside of the storage unit. Agents determined the vehicle belonged to M. Vehicle was searched and 2 handguns were located in the center console of the vehicle. M's role and conduct in the charged conspiracy, her ongoing drug trafficking, and her possession of firearm demonstrate that she poses a danger to the public and a risk of non-appearance. So now we're on to an RG. G is a rug distributor for JB. G has approximately 19 felony convictions, including convictions for attempting to elude law enforcement, possession of stolen vehicle, possession of stolen property, identity theft, forgery, theft, and controlled substance offenses. So there's another one that might be, connected to LZ. So investigators established that G used his primary residence in Tacoma to distribute and stash narcotics on behalf of the A family Omerta DTO, and that Jesse Bailey has used that residence as a location to drop off narcotics intending for delivery to other narcotic redistributors. Intercepted calls revealed that G placed orders with B for pound quantities of M and thousands of F pills. On the 22nd, 2023, agents attempted to arrest G at his residence. G was ordered to come out of the house by the SWAT team, but did not come out for approximately 45 minutes. G was finally taken into custody and search warrant was executed at his residence. Upon making entry, agents found 3 firearms, including 2 handguns that were found in the tank of the toilet. There's another one. Don't put your stuff in the tank of a toilet or your freezer. Just forget about it. Don't put it in your freezer. Too funny. Or into your mattress. Oh man, that's so funny. Griffin's criminal history, conduct in the charged conspiracy, and his possession of firearms at the time of his arrest demonstrate he poses a danger to public and a risk of non-appearance. Okay, next we have DH. Hammond is a rug distributor for K. Hammond has a criminal history, including convictions for criminal impersonation, identity theft, possession without a prescription, and riot deadly weapon. Ooh. Investigators intercepted numerous communications between H and K in which Hammond ordered pound quantities of M and discussed just redistributing thousands of F pills. Based on his criminal history, background, and the nature of the instant offense, he posed a threat. He posed a threat to and danger. He posed a risk of danger and non-appearance. Now we have an AS, Anna. Sarnes is a rug distributor for JB, Carver, and Kilp. Intercepted communications revealed S had placed an $18,000 order with JB for 22,500 F pills, which Bailey passed on to C Surveillance captured S meeting with C to conduct the transaction, and a traffic stop on the vehicle driven by S resulted in the seizure of approximately the same amount, 22,500, as well as a large quantity of suspected M, H, and F powder. Aren't these people scared of that? I mean, I've seen these things with these cops, like barely like looking in a car and come in contact with something like that, and they literally are on death's bed. I mean, the cops are racing to get them that Narcan. I mean, how can these people not be afraid of this stuff? I don't get it. Pre-trial services notes that S has a history of failing to appear in her criminal matters. In 5 of these matters, she has had 10 warrants issued for her failure to appear. Clearly, as pretrial services agrees, S poses a risk of non-appearance. Also poses a risk of danger to the community, as confirmed by pretrial services. Pretrial services proposed conditions of release do nothing to address these concerns, as the only condition plausibly addressing flight and danger is a requirement that S engage in rug treatment. However, according to S herself, she has not been using controlled substances and hasn't used M for 4 years. A rug treatment condition would therefore not be appropriate or effective in reducing the danger that S poses. On the other hand, if pretrial services believes S has been deceitful about her lack of use of controlled substances, this is a much greater concern that renders her a greater risk of flight and a greater danger, and reduces the likelihood that S would be compliant with conditions set by the court and monitoring by pretrial services. Yeah. So I think that's one of the things that Kara maybe had to do. In fact, it sounds a lot like what people talked about, but I'm not positive. It just does sound a lot like it. Okay, we're getting there. We're almost done. So now we have an AE. Escoto is a rug distributor for C who arranged to obtain F and M from C through interception wiretap calls. E has a lengthy criminal history, including convictions for controlled substance offenses, burglary, assault, malicious mischief, hit and run, another one to look out for with that Pullman thing, reckless driving, community custodial violation, that's interesting, refusing to cooperate with officer, harassing telephone calls, and violation of anti-harassment order, very interesting, obstructing law enforcement officer possession of dangerous weapon, making false statements, domestic violence, identity theft, custodial assault, and assault with a deadly weapon, among others. That person, I bet you, that one sounds like someone that's, like, there's certain calls that are in the Moscow reports, right, that just stand out. And this guy's got all of it in there. All of it. Surveillance determined that E, driven by co-defendant WT, met C at C's residence and picked up the rugs for C. This is a mouthful, you guys. A traffic stop of the vehicle driven by T resulted in the seizure of approximately 1,400 F pills, 33 grams of H, and a bag containing approximately 960 grams of M, as well as baggies and a scale. The driver of the vehicle, T, had a loaded handgun in the holster on his waistband when stopped by the police. Pretrial services indicated that E poses a danger to the public and that he poses a risk of non-appearance based on his use of aliases. Okay, yep. History of failing to appear. A review of the pretrial services report discloses that E has been the subject of dozens of warrants for his failure to appear over his long criminal history, and non-compliance with supervision. So E acknowledges that he has several convictions on his record, and the actual number appears to be well over 40, and claims that he has performed well since his release from prison and placement in on community custody. In reality, E was returned to custody once. He was arrested twice since 2020 for assault and obstructing an officer and theft. Wow. That's nuts. Okay, last page. Further, according to the pretrial services report, defendant made himself unavailable for supervision on 7 occasions during the last period of supervision. When he says he's doing great, huh? Further, while E asserts he is not a risk of non-appearance because he claims he would benefit from the structure and family support of living with his loving and supportive father and stepmother, who will hold him accountable for complying with court orders. E's own words belie his assertion in an intercepted call to co-defendant C after the rugs were obtained from C and were seized by law enforcement. E discussed buying additional rugs from Carver to make up for the rugs he lost, and told Carver that his father would help him evade law enforcement detection, stating, "And they don't know where I live because my address on my ID goes to my dad's house, so I'm away from my dad's house, and my dad will tell the cops if you find him, let us know. We don't ever see him. My dad is as solid as they go to." Wow. Jeez Louise. See, this is what I was saying. This goes deep. This is not just this particular group of people at this age. This is hereditary. Like a lot of these things. Not all of them, but I mean. Conclusion. For the reasons set forth above, the government respectfully submits that the above defendants are unable to overcome the presumption against detention that applies to this matter. Should therefore be detained pending trial. Signed by Nicholas Brown and M.B. Shiner, Assistant United States Attorney. Yeah, I think that's probably a dang good idea. Max Shiner, huh? That was on the 26th day of March. All right, there you have it. There's a lot of dates in here that coincide. It's crazy. So I've got many more I'm going to be putting out. So we'll go from there. Okay, Ember's going to break this one down. I know he will. Okay, talk to you guys later. Bye.